All right, I want to show you 3 little tiny things that I do every day, well, almost every day, that helps to keep the stress from taking over. And maybe these will help you too. They're not flashy, they're not expensive. You don't have to buy anything, but they work and they can bring that little bit of control back into your life. I'm not saying they're going to change your life overnight, but they might give you back 5 minutes of peace, right? 5 minutes when you feel your house is burning down. Well, that's gold. That's everything. And they'll make you feel just a little bit more human. So if you've been running on fumes and hiding behind just a bit of sarcasm all day long just to get through it, well, then let's talk. Actually, before we talk, why don't you get our free No BS self-care guide that has practical steps that actually work to get you through the day, even when you're exhausted. Just put me in the comments and I'll send it to you. So tiny thing number 1, I move my body, even just a little. I know that sounds crazy, right? What are you talking about? But when I don't move, everything starts to lock up. My neck, my back, my shoulders, everything. I'm not talking about, go out and run 5K every day. If you do, that's wonderful. And actually a friend of mine ran a marathon every day for 20 days to raise money for CMV Canada. I mean, that's just mind-blowing. I'm just talking about getting up to walk for 10 minutes. I have to do it every day, and I have to stretch every day. If I don't, all the stress and the pain of 30 years of caregiving, well, my body really feels it. I have to warm up my body every day. Sometimes when there's nobody around and Alexa's on, I'll just dance a little bit to the 80s tune that's coming on, just to move around and to feel everything. Sometimes I just practice my golf swing in the quiet of the bedroom when no one's looking, just to kind of feel that and get those hips moving. Because motion is medicine. It really is. We're built to move. We're not built to sit. Because when you move, your brain tends to slow down and you start to release all that tension, even for a few minutes. Because when I don't, then all that tension just sort of builds up and rises to the top, and it's not pretty. Most days, I'm going to be honest, most days, my body hurts all the time, all day long. My fingers, my thumbs, my back, my neck, my feet. That just comes with the territory. So I just take 10 minutes to try and move and to shake it off and to get the blood flowing. It helps a lot. That's it. There's no gear. There's no gym. There's no training. It's just a few minutes of breathing and moving. And that can make a huge difference. And maybe some Tylenol arthritis too, just to get the day started. And when I do that, somehow I feel I can keep going. I do this a couple of times a day. And sometimes I set a timer to say that, after 90 minutes, an alarm will go off and say, okay, you got to move, especially if you've been, immersed in something. Okay, tiny thing number 2, I give myself something to look forward to. And it's usually something different every day. It's nothing big. It's not a weekend away. It's not sitting in the royal box at Wimbledon, although that would be really cool, right? It's something small, like the first morning cup of tea that I have, to do it uninterrupted. And I know that sounds kind of weird. And almost all the time, that never happens, the uninterrupted part. But if it is uninterrupted, then the rest of the day seems to be just that much easier, that I got 15 minutes just to have nothing to worry about. Then I can handle the craziness of the day just a little bit better. Or sometimes I'll just, pretend I'm buying this Porsche and I'll go and configure it and just to the way I like it. No, I am never ever going to do that. But it just kind of gives me a little bit of an escape and a little bit of way just to unleash my mind. Or I'll dream of, a golf trip to Scotland where, you can play all the PGA courses. And, it's just a dream, because my score would be even more ridiculous than it is now. But just those 10 minutes to take away from everything that's going on. And by the way, I don't quote unquote plan to do this thing every day where I just sit for 10 minutes and do it. It just kind of happens spontaneously. It's just kind of playing in the back of my mind all the time. Even if I never follow through, it reminds me that, I'm more than just the work I do every day and the caregiving that I do every day. Someone who likes to dream, that I like to imagine and, just sort of laugh at some of the crazy things. It's just 10 minutes, 15 minutes that reminds you that life isn't just about what needs to get done. It's what gets you excited. It's what lights you up. And over time, that will rewire how you think about yourself and how you treat yourself. Okay, tiny thing number 3, which I'm not really good at, is I try to protect my sleep. 5 or 6 years ago, I got a Fitbit because I was worried that I was getting really poor sleep. And well, it's true. I was getting I wasn't sleeping a lot at all. And I realizing that such an important part of anyone's life, but even more so of your caregiver. So this thing that I think about every day, which again, I'm not really good at, is to protect this sleep. I know how much better I feel when I get a good sleep. When I get into bed before midnight and I get the rest that my body is craving. But as I said, I don't always protect it the way I should. And Jan reminds me when I don't. Because here's the thing, after Ben's in bed, around 10:30-ish, that's my time just to do whatever, right? And it's, watch a movie or watch some old Hillsong videos or just sit there in silence. It doesn't really matter. And of course, doing all this while I'm watching him on the webcam to make sure that his sleep is okay. But I can kind of separate that and have one eye on that and then just try to unwind. It's kind of a love-hate relationship. I love the rest. I crave the rest, but I crave the freedom too, just to be able to do nothing else but just sit there. Maybe I'll have a sleepy time tea with honey before 8 o'clock at night. That actually helps to settle things down. I don't always do it. Or I'll, turn the screens off by 10 p.m. Don't always do that either. Maybe a little journaling or writing down of, what's coming up tomorrow, just to kind of get that out of my head and down on paper. That's a really good exercise anyway, to get it out of your head. Because sleep isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. And if you're constantly not getting enough, that's not a good thing to do. It's not easy to recover from that. So this tiny thing of protecting your sleep is probably the most important of anything that you could do every day, even if you just did this one thing. Because when I protect it even a little, the next day I have so much more to give and feel so much better about it. Okay, now none of these things take any more than 10 or 15 minutes. You can find 10 or 15 minutes a couple of times a day to do 1, 2, or all 3 of these. I don't do them perfectly. Some days I skip them, some days I do none of them. And I know when that happens, the day is not going to go so well. But I always come back to them because then I know that I have a say. I have some control in how the day's going to go, even when the rest of it feels like it's out of my hands. So if you're just holding it all together now, just try one of these tiny things. Just try it today. It's not going to fix everything. It may not fix anything, but it'll remind you that you matter and that you do have control over how the day's going to unfold. So if you want a gentle way to get started, just get our No BS Self-Care Guide. It's free. It's not fluff. It's just practical tools from someone who's walked this road a long, long time. Just put me in the comments and I'll send it to you. Grab it today and it might give you something to lean on this week, on top of 1 or 2 or 3 of these tiny things. I hope you have a great rest of your day.